Hi everyone. Today is November 20th, 2018, and you are in Mrs. Kroeber's Algebra 1 class, and we are going to be learning about multiplying binomials. So the hope is at the end of this video that you will be able to recall the three different types of methods that we're going to be learning about and be able to recognize the procedure that you will need to take in order to complete these methods. So let's get started. So before we start multiplying binomials, we really need to discuss what is a binomial. In order to do so, we need to recall a few vocabulary words. The first one is the word term. This is a single number or variable or a combination of the two that are joined with multiplication. So for instance, the example I gave is 4x. You have a constant of 4 and the variable of x, and together with multiplication, they are considered a term. The next two are the vocabulary words monomial and binomial. Monomial meaning one term and binomial meaning two terms. For monomial, same thing as a regular term, they are joined with multiplication. But for a binomial, these two terms are actually connected with either a plus sign or a minus sign. And you can see those examples there. So as I stated before, there are multiple ways that we can multiply binomials. The first method we're going to be learning is the distributive method, which we'll be using the distributive property that we just learned about. The FOIL method, which is actually an acronym to help us remember the process. And the grid method, which is going to be using a chart. So the first method that I'd like to discuss is the distributive method. In the distributive method, you are going to multiply the first term in the first binomial by each term in that second binomial. So for instance, in this example, we're going to be multiplying that x that's circled in blue by both the x and the 2 in that second binomial. The second step is to multiply the second term in that first binomial by each of the terms in that second binomial. So we are going to be multiplying that 3 by both the x and the 2 in that second binomial. Our final step is to combine those results, so you have everything in blue from the first step, everything in red from the second step, and we need to multiply out and then combine terms that are alike. So our final answer here is going to be x squared plus 5x plus 6. So our second method is the FOIL method. In this method, the F stands for first, and we are going to be multiplying the first two terms in each binomial, and in this case we have x times x, which is going to give us x squared. The O stands for outer, so our second step is going to be to multiply the outside terms in each binomial. Here we have 2 times x, which gives us 2x. The third step is I for inner. Here we have 3 times x, which gives us 3x. And then our last step is L, which actually stands for last, and we have 3 times 2, which gives us 6. So we have x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 6, and of course our last step is always to combine like terms, so our final answer would be x squared. All right, and the final method that we're going to learn today is the grid method. So our first step is going to be to place our first binomial on the top of our grid. Okay, so x plus 2 is going to go on top. Our second step is to place the second binomial, x plus 3, on the side. We then are going to multiply the rows and the columns in order to fill the grid. So x times x will give us x squared. X times 2 gives us 2x. 3 times x is 3x, and then 3 times 2, which is 6. Then our final step is going to be to add all of those entries together inside of the grid. So all of those terms that you just created by multiplying. So we have x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 6, and then as always, our last step will be to combine like terms for a final answer of x squared plus 5x plus 6. So the three methods that we learned about today were distributive method, the FOIL method, and the grid method. If you have any further questions or you'd like to look at those examples again, please feel free to go back, and thanks for watching.